I got through a whole video without swearing. Firstly, an apology if something seems off. Guess who's not in their usual filming location? There's always something. But yeah, apologies if the lighting or something isn't quite right, but I didn't want to not film today, so here we must make do. So, welcome back. It's your gal, Miss Luna Lestrange, coming back at you once again with a brand new video. And today, I have got a really itchy nose. I did a little poll over on Instagram and it surprisingly turned in a way that I didn't see it really turning. As sort of a spook queen, if you like, I saw my sort of audience on there to be sort of Rocky fans and stuff like that, and I've had a poll because obviously Evanescence have released a new album, asking whether you'd be interested in hearing my thoughts on the new album and stuff like that. I think it was pretty close to 50-50. A lot of people said they were old news, and I totally disagree. So I'm coming here today to sort of go through the new album in my best sort of rocker, chick, singing girl drags. This look was actually inspired by some classic Amy Lee today. And we're going to go through the album and I'm going to let you hear all the damn tea. So, of course, the new album is called Synthesis. And Evanescence have taken a bit of a synth route towards their music, and this is sort of an experimental album before the new album comes with the music that they're really interested in creating. So I thought this was a really interesting move, and I don't hate it in any way, shape or form, because of I feel like the album for me personally has come out at the most perfect time that it could have done. Because I used to listen to Evanescence growing up, and their music got me through some very dark times, and I almost felt like there was someone else that understood how I felt. If you get where I'm coming from, and that's why I used to adore their music, and obviously still do. But now I listen to it in a very different light. So when the new album came around, I was excited but sceptical, because obviously all of the songs were literally, apart from a few, were just going to be remakes of old songs, and they're sort of playing around with a new sort of style, if you like. So I love the old Evanescence style, the sort of classic music with the rock added into it, Amy Lee's vocals I love, and so I love the classic stuff. And when I heard, I think Imperfection was the first single that got released from the album. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was Imperfection. And when I heard that, I was like, this has got some of the sort of classic vibes, but something a little bit new. And I love Imperfection as a song. I think it's a stunning song, and I have actually got a performance planned to do in January involving that song and the other new song as well off of this album. I've got a big plan to sort of bind the two together and make a performance out of it, which should be really interesting, so stay tuned for that in January. Amy Lee's vocals have grown. You could tell that she's sort of grown up a little bit, because her vocals have grown hell of a lot. Not that she was bad before, but I'm just sort of, you can tell that she's grown up now, the same way you can from Pink's voice in Beautiful Trauma. So let's go through the album, and I'm going to sort of give you my thoughts on the other new track as well. So we've got High Low. High Low, to me, in my eyes, is one of the most beautifully written, beautifully sung love songs of the year. And to me, the lyrics, I understand them as it being a love song, but it is one of the most, it couldn't be further from a Taylor Swift love song if you tried. It is the most least petty, least anything. It's very I wish you the best, let's sort of move on. And I love High Low. I cried the first time I listened to it, not going to lie. And now it's grown to become one of my personal favourites, and one that I've constantly got stuck on repeat. High Low is another highlight of the album, if you like, and I really like it. So a few of the other standouts for me are, of course, Bring Me to Life. I love the original song Bring Me to Life, but this new almost synthy version without any of the male vocals, without the heavy rockness of it. It brings sort of not a new meaning to the song, but a new entire feel. Like, I've performed Bring Me to Life a few times, and I've always done it with this really high energy, like, you know, proper hair flippy, sort of very classic hard rock sort of vibe to it. But this version is a lot more slow and a lot more... It's still got the badass rock girl vibes to it, but now you could perform it in such a different way. It triggers a lot of nostalgia in me, because it sort of brings back how I felt when I was first listening to that song, and now it's sort of given the new meaning to it, and it's almost a reflection of what the song used to be, and I really, really enjoy that. I know there's a lot of people that really, really don't like this album, but Bring Me to Life is definitely a standout for me. Moving over to the other big one that everyone used to know is My Immortal. My Immortal, obviously, I think is one of their probably biggest hits, along with Bring Me to Life, that they've ever done, and of course this was on Synthesis as well. I don't prefer the Synthesis version, but I think it's sort of on the same level that I can appreciate it at. It's the one song that I avoided listening to for the longest on the album, because I knew it was either going to be really right or really wrong, and I'm still sort of avoiding listening to it because the original's got a very special place in my heart. It's one of the first songs I ever learned to sing properly, and it just holds something very near and dear to me. So that's one that I sort of... props to him for like remaking it and showing us a vision of what they want to do now, but to me, I would prefer to keep it as the original. I do like the new version, but I would personally prefer to keep the old version fresh and current in my mind rather than look at the new version. But that's just me personally. Obviously everyone is entitled to their own opinions. Now, some of the other big standouts to me, Lithium was a big, and when I say big I mean humongous, part of my extremely depressed teenage years. And it was a song I would listen to, and yeah, we won't go back there, but it was a big part of my difficult teenage years. Now they've remade this song, again like Bring Me to Life, it brings me the nostalgia, and I feel like where Amy Lee's vocals especially have grown on the album, and this has sort of given the album a new sound with the synth and the orchestra, it's so strange, because if I go back and listen to the original version of Lithium from the Open Door, like flashes me back to that place as where I was, obviously because it's the song that I really connect with and the song that I really sort of associate with those years of my life. I can't listen to the original version of Lithium anymore, but when I heard the new version, it's so strange, because now it's almost as if I can listen to it, get the nostalgia of sort of, it reminds me of those days, but now with the new version, obviously the stronger vocals in it, the updated sound, it's sort of, to me it's almost like going through a timeline when I listen to that song to see how much I've grown as a person. It's really difficult to explain. I'm not quite sure how else to put it in words. The same with Lost in Paradise as well. That's a song I also really hold near and dear to my heart. But now, like obviously now they've got this new album out, if I do have one of those days, and if you suffer with mental health issues, you will know that those days do exist. I feel like now I'm in a place in which I'm a lot more mentally strong and I can cope a hell of a lot better. So I feel like now, when I'm in that bad place, I can put albums like this on, and Beautiful Trauma by Pink is another huge one. And I still connect with the songs, but when I'm having those moments and I put this new album on, I put the Synthesis album on, it's almost, again like a timeline, showing me how far I've come, showing me how much I've grown as a person, which almost lifts my spirit in a way, because it's like, you're doing so well, you've fought all these years through it, and now you are up here, when before you were right down here. And it sort of almost, even though they're really sad lyrics in some of the songs, it still uplifts me. If that makes any sense whatsoever. It's really hard to sort of put it into words. But that's sort of how I feel about the more sad songs on the album especially. One that I'm not a huge fan of is Your Star, only because I adore the original, and I didn't realise how much I adored the original until the Synthesis version came out. I don't hate it, however, if it was just released as a song like Your Star as a new song and the old version didn't exist, I would love this new version. But because the old version for me is such a strong track and I live for it, I personally prefer the old version of Your Star and not the synth version. Another one that's similar to that is Never Go Back, and again, I love the new version, but because the old version is such a strong song, I can't fully get on board with it, if that makes sense. That was always the risky thing when making an album like this. A lot of fans don't like it, but I, however, really appreciated, if you like, that they put this experiment out as an album, because it couldn't have come at a more perfect time in my life. If you watch back my I'm Broken, is it called I'm Broken, or the Life Update video when I came back, it may make a little more sense, but I'll link that in one of the cards. But it's got to come in the most perfect place in my life, and it's what I needed, because now I can listen to these tracks once again while I'm having a hard time, and I can really see how much I've grown, which is helping me grow even further as a person. If that makes any form and sense, any shape or form, I don't know. But what are your thoughts and opinions on the new album? Because obviously my poll brought a very mixed review. If you voted their old news, did you vote their old news because you hated the album, or just because it's been way too many years for them to try and make a comeback? Because even as a child, I connected with the lyrics. I think they've got some of the most strong writing in music, and their songs, to me, have never got old. They've always been current, they've always been in my playlist, they've always been on my phone, on my iTunes, everything like that. And I can really get on board with it. And I really enjoy it, and I'm excited to see where the band take the real new album and how they're going to go along with it and sort of move on from here, because this experiment that they did was really interesting. I'm so glad that High Low's finally been released, because I know that's been in the work for quite some time. I feel like it's a really strong song. The two new songs, beautiful, adore them, brilliant. And if they did make a full album of new songs just like that, I would be extremely happy with it personally, seeing as I understand where Amy as an artist is coming from, because I go through stages of being extremely gothy, and then all I want to do is paint myself blue or use every colour. Like, we all go through just different stages as artists in an artistic field of work. So I can understand why she's wanted to take this route, and I'm excited to see what she does next, as I am with myself. I'm always excited to see what I'm going to end up doing next. So I really like it, but I want to hear what your thoughts are. What are your thoughts? Do you hate? Do you love? Are there certain songs like myself that you can get on board with and some that you can't? But overall, it really brings back a lot of nostalgia for me, and really, it's good. I'm glad that they've released it. As I said, it couldn't have come at a better time in my life, so I'm really on board with it and really enjoy it. Yeah, this was a bit of a different video to film today, so if you did enjoy this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, so I know that in the future, obviously we can talk a bit more about music, because obviously as a performer, music is a big part of what I do, and now I'm sort of moving more into the arty direction of performance. Music is an even bigger part of that. So I think it's good that we can sit and discuss music. Yeah, they're my thoughts on the album. And if you do want to see sort of more music stuff, then do let me know, because I do quite enjoy sitting there, because I listen to music a hell of a lot. Music gets me through most things in my life, good, bad, negative, ugly, anything. And a lot of that now is being pushed into new performances that I'm creating as well, and it's sort of a nice little outlet for me again, which is really nice, because it's something that I didn't have before, and shows again how I've grown as a person and grown as a performer and an artist. So yes, I hope you're all doing well. I'm glad that I'm coming back and stuck to my video this week, and I hope that we can continue and have a camp old time. So again, if you enjoyed this type of something different video, please give it a thumbs up. Leave your comments on the album down below, or if you won't be listening to the album, tell me why, because I'm curious to find out why you think they're old news. And yes, until next week, I think my regular upload day is going to be Sundays from now on at 6 PM UK time, only because that's the easiest date for me. But yes, I will see you again next Sunday with something brand spanking new. Stay humble, stay blessed, stay spooky. I love you all. Take care.